welcome to the Secure Dental Podcast. This is Dr. Jaffrey here again, where we are just discussing our failures, our journeys, and our experiences. Today I'm very excited. I have one of my great associates here, Dr. Kinjal Patel, who works in our Secure Dental Murfreesboro office. And we'll just poke some questions here and there, see where she started from. I'll tell you something, she is a mom of two little beautiful girls, and she still works full-time in this office and is a team leader in my office working alone. So hey, Dr. Patel, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So Dr. Patel, tell me which school you graduated from.
I graduated from Mahari School of Dentistry right in Nashville in Tennessee. In 2024.
2024, so it's been like a year and a half. You're in clinical dentistry, right?
That's right.
Yeah. When did you have your kids? During school time?
I had one in the school time and one right before the residency.
How was it having a child during your school?
It was kind of little hard, but not impossible. Because I had a good family support, mainly my husband, who was always there to take care of the kids. So it was kind of good journey to have those two kids and become a dentist too.
That is tough because I have 3 kids of my own, and I cannot imagine having them during school time, because school time you have very strict like restrictions and requirements, and that's a tough job. You were able to actually be married, have a spouse, have a child, and still go through school. So kudos to the mindset that you had during that time.
That's true. So in the dental school, mainly in the initial period, I was focusing to finish maximum requirement so I can plan for my pregnancy. So when I realized I'm almost done with my requirements, so I planned for the baby. So I don't need to take too much vacation once I start working as a general dentist. So
well, you had a plan in place.
Yeah.
Well, that is good. So that means you had your priorities right. Right? You weren't like all over the place. You knew exactly what you wanted to do. Did you always wanted to be a dentist?
Yes.
Yeah. Did anybody else in your family a dentist, or you're the first?
I'm the first dentist or first doctor in my family.
Oh, amazing.
So that was my father's dream as well, to see me as a doctor. So that's how I achieved, yeah.
That's how you achieved it. Well, very, I'm sure your parents are proud.
Yeah, very much.
And I think the way they took care of it is coming into your parenting now, that you're so supportive, and then you have such a nice supportive husband who really wants you to thrive. And I think that relationship really matters because you both have the priorities in the right place.
That's true.
Yeah. So what do you think has changed from when you were a student dentist to a clinician? When you entered clinical field, what would you say has been the challenge?
I think being a student in the school and working in a real life is completely different, because in the school we mainly learn just how to do the patients, like the clinical parts, but not like how to manage the patient. So that's something I learned mainly from Dr. Jaffrey. Good mentorship, I can say. And I'm more confident treating patients myself and working as a solo dentist at Secure Dental compared to I was doing in the school.
Yeah, true. Because I think in the school you're so protected. You know that you're going to do a filling and the professor is going to come and check it and everything's going to be okay. But you have an hour or 3 hours to finish that one filling. But when you come into practical dentistry, you maybe have like 2 chairs working. You have a child in one, you're taking an impression in the other one. So you have to prioritize how you're working. I don't think it's more of the dentistry portion, because dentistry, the skills, the academics, it's just a human component that you have to bring together. How did you manage being a leader in your op room, meaning like you're the dentist, everybody's looking up to you, the patient, the dental assistant, the manager, and even the front desk, they're all looking at you for guidance. Tell me about that. What was your experience there?
I think it was little challenging when I started working as a dentist, But over the time I learned like how to tackle this, because we always do a plan ahead of the time. That's how like we do a morning huddle as well. So I prioritize the task and distribute to the like assistant and manager, and we always prepared. So that's how like we are able to be on the same page at the same time.
No, that's perfect. That comes from your prioritization skills that you already have, because I think you know exactly what you want and you are communicating it with your team. You're telling the team, hey, today we have these many patients and this is how I like working. So I think it's very important that being a leader, your communication with your team needs to be very clean. And that's the only way we as clinicians can do really good dentistry. Then we don't have to think about, did somebody put the chair right? Did somebody put my instruments right? And they don't have to keep on going back and forth.
That's right. We also check all the lab cases before the patient comes and make sure that all pre-auth has been approved a day before. So that's the main point of having a conversations a day before the patient comes.
No, that's. Do you do this a night before, or do you do this in the morning time with your team?
We do morning huddles every morning, but regarding the lab cases and the pre-auth, we check a day before.
Okay, so you want to make sure that the patient's aware, and we're all aware if there has to be a payment that needs to be done, or the case just never came in. That can be a possibility. Every now and then I see, we think the patient is going to be getting their denture today, but then the denture never arrived. And we failed to call the patient, and the patient's upset. I think when you say that you prioritize things and you keep things in check a day before, that is going to help not have these issues and upset patients.
That's true. Even though like my assistant manager and front desk checks it because that's their job, but I always go through and double check, because I don't want patients to come and just waste their time.
Correct, because ultimately we're responsible, right? Ultimately they're looking at us. Ultimately they're like, you, doctor, you didn't do it.
Yeah, the time values most for the patients too, because they might have taken the off from the job and coming specially for the appointment and not having things done in the appointment. That makes more upset for them.
Yeah, absolutely. What were your challenging procedures? What do you think from school you wish that school should have taught you that you do now in the office?
Yeah, in school I didn't have much experience in root canals and the full mouth extraction cases and the crowns. I did crowns, but not that enough to have done very quickly. I did had a good experience in extractions in my residency, but working here and having done like more cases of full mouth extraction improved me a lot to do it more faster and more better.
Yeah, it's like repetition, right? School just has this many patients and this much time that you have to do everything, and you're also having academic lectures that you have to go through. So it's tough. And how about your root canal? Are you comfortable doing the root canals now, or?
Yes, definitely. In school, I mainly did like maybe 3 or 4. But right now I'm pretty comfortable doing root canals, including like anteriors and premolars. Yes, and I'm also doing very faster compared to what I was taking time in the school.
Yeah, because now you probably have a recipe for yourself. You know exactly, you need exactly this, you're already ready, your mindset is ready, your team is ready, because you've already discussed it. So I think that helps, and now it's more repeatable. It's just repetition again and again.
That's true.
How about your experience with surgical extractions? Did you do a lot of surgical extractions back in the school?
Not at all.
Oh, okay.
I haven't learned any surgical extractions, not even residency.
Oh.
But that's something I started learning here at Secure Dental after taking support from Dr. Jeffrey. And I'm pretty much doing all the surgical extractions nowadays. Yeah.
That's good. That's good, because I think extractions or surgical extractions is bread and butter of dentistry.
Agree.
Right? By the time patient comes in, it's such a bad tooth that you're like, okay, you have to take it out. So it is really important that you finally become good at it at some time.
It was just kind of little fear, but
Yeah.
now it's like so easy to do it. Yeah, get
Yeah.
it done. I don't need to like refer them out and wait for them to have the extraction done and be in pain. That's why I wanted to learn, so at least they can be out of pain when they are in my chair.
Yeah, so your mindset changed. You had the choice of referring them, but you chose to be in an uncomfortable environment a few times. Maybe you hated it. Maybe you sweated it out too, and you're like, why am I doing this?
That's
But after those first 2 or 3, you're like, I can do this. I can make people much better, and they don't have to be referred, because sometimes you refer them, they might not get an appointment for another week or 2 weeks. So I'm glad that you have a strong mindset, that you're prioritizing things, you're becoming a leader, you are talking to your team to make you productive in the end. And obviously when you're productive, your team is happier. And you put yourself in these situations which are uncomfortable for you, and you're being a solo dentist. That's kudos, because you don't have support right away. And putting yourself in that situation, you come out of it. You're like, I want to try it. I want to do it.
That's true.
Does this mindset come in because you always had it, or this changed when you became a parent? Maybe as a child, you were always organized?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm the kind of person who likes to make myself ready ahead of the time. So that was the thing. So I'm the person who used to open the gate in the school.
Okay.
So
You're the first one.
It's wherever I go, I always be early. So
Yeah.
punctuality is one of the main factor I believe in. Even with my teams, I get sometimes upset if they shows up late. I like to be start on time and finish
Yeah.
on time, so it goes smoothly, and we can finish up the patients on time. And sometimes we can adapt the procedures as well.
Because you have started it early. I know for sure when you are on time, you're late already. You're supposed to be before that, before your required time, and I believe that. Otherwise, you're always playing catch up. And playing catch up is gonna trickle down in your patients, and the first patient gets backed up, the second patient gets backed up.
Then brain stops working.
Then brain stops working, and you're like, then you're mad. Like me, I just become like so frustrated and mad that the whole day becomes.
Frustrated. Yeah.
I think it's really important for the clinician to have a very clean mindset, right?
Agree.
Yeah. What would you say to a student who might be listening to our podcast? What should they work on right now that they have a little time left in graduation? What do you think they should work on so it can help them in a clinical setting?
I would say they should looking for a job where they can find a good mentor support. That what I had it, and that's how I learned more complex procedure that I was afraid of doing it.
Yeah. Mentors are very important. That's true. But I think you can get a mentor, but you have to be a mentee as well. There is a lot of times when they're looking for a mentor, but
they have
the
to
mind is not
set
open.
their mind as well to push their self to do more procedure. Rather than referring out all the cases.
Correct. You have to be a mentee. You have to grab it. Because when I started dentistry, I got stuck really bad in one of the post-core crowns. And I thought I knew it from school. And I had done one in the school. And now I was doing it in a clinical setting. And I got stuck. I didn't have anybody to help. And if I had somebody helping me behind to tell me how to do it, I wouldn't have spent 4 hours doing it. And now it's because I got PTSD from it. I am so careful with associates that join us that I want to make sure I'm there. for them when they're doing it, because I have that feeling. I know what stress looks like. So I want to make sure that our associates don't go through that. Even if they need like a little help, they know that, somebody's on speed dial and somebody can help you right away. I think it's more of the confidence that somebody is behind you to
That's
listen to
true.
your problem. You know what you're doing. It's just that the support.
I think you were always there when I was texting or calling, and you were always there for me.
And that's what mentorship is. I wasn't there to hold your hand,
But at least giving tips and techniques.
just the tips. Yeah, just the comfort that somebody's there if my file breaks. Somebody's there if something goes into the sinus. How am I going to do it? Things like that. And then obviously the communication that you have is very clear because your mindset is to learn. You're not just like, okay, I'm just going to do drill and fill dentistry and let everybody go out the door and do whatever. But I see that you yourself want to push yourself to do these things. So you communicate in that way as well.
I think it's not giving up.
It's not giving up.
Keep trying, and you will learn eventually from your failures.
Yeah, and you're going to be a good mentor for your kids, for sure, because they can see a mom who actually went through studies while, they were little kids. And I know when you go for courses, your kids come with you.
Yes.
Your whole family supports you. Your whole family comes in. Your kids come in. So they see how you're balancing. And even though moms cannot have a work-life balance, you just have to prioritize it.
Agree.
Sometimes your kid is sick and you have to take care of it, but you still have to take care of your patients. There's no black and white. There's always a gray when you are in these situations.
I think you have to just figure it out, find the ways to do it. Because when I'm here, I'm 100% here. Nobody calls me. I never calls for the kids. Like, someone will be there to take care of them. But when I go home, I always be there for them. So that's how we can balance little bit, work life.
Yeah, and then that's just how you grow. And it's not that you're snatching time from somebody, but you are providing for your family, and they're helping support you in what you're doing.
That's
right?
true.
And you're gonna have good resilient kids because they're seeing you develop like
That's
that.
true.
Yeah.
Because there was a day I have to put them the daycare, even the school. They're going they're waking up at 5:30 and I'm picking up at 5:30. So I have also told by the other people, not you. I think your kids are more strong. By staying the whole day.
10
Our
hours.
kids are not even going for just school hours. So I was they have to follow the way we are in situation. They just get used to it.
Yeah, and then when you go home, you're a mom. You're there for them. Yeah, maybe you're exhausted, but sometimes when you see your kids and you had a fulfilling day with your team,
you
and you see your kids, I think it relaxes everything. But again, life is not easy, and these are the choices we make. And I think I would tell the listener students that whatever choices you make the choices according to what your thought process is going to be like. You don't want to be somebody you cannot be. There are a lot of things Facebook shows or Instagram shows that are very enticing, but I would tell you, do not follow the footsteps that are uncomfortable for you. Because if you're following something that your mind and body is not going towards, or you don't have support towards it, it's going to go into a disaster. You want to go and do things that you're comfortable doing. Also try in that area push yourself a little bit to do uncomfortable things and see how you're going and balance it that way. Well, Dr. Patel, thank you so much. It was really nice talking to you.
Same here.
And I appreciate you sharing a little bit about your family. And till next time, thank you so much. Again, my name is Dr. Jaffrey from Secure Dental. Thank you.
Thank you.